Okay, so as I was saying, so they sprayed holy water on me, talking about I'm an obanje, like a water spirit, a water, a what was it called? A mermaid. So I kept shouting the blood of Jesus, the blood of Jesus. I was sure I wasn't a obanje, you know. But maybe because they saw the way I painted and everything, so those nurses they were like, ah, this one, she's possessed or something. So after that, so I kept walking around like asking when the labor was gonna start. But my sister-in-law was deceiving me, saying, "Oh, the labor will start later." So, because they told me when you're labor, you'll be tearing your hair, you'll be tearing your clothes, you'll be like acting crazy. So, but then this thing kept happening to my back. I was like, "What is this thing? When is this labor going to start?" So I said, "Well, if this labor is not starting, so you guys should just set up a C-section because I'm not ready." Like I started since 9 o'clock, and by 1 o'clock, I was still walking around like waiting for this labor to start. And this labor, they said it was coming. When is it coming now? Ah, so I felt like it was forever. So finally, this is the interesting part. You know, even with the labor, I was running the stairs, and I was trying to push this baby down. So around that 1 o'clock, I started having this urge. You know, when you're having diarrhea, like when you are going to purge. Ah, my sister, I was trying to purge so bad. So, and in Nigeria, how they built the Mother of Christ hospital, how they built it, they put the hospital here. Then it would be like maybe like a mile. They put the toilet and the bathroom on the other side of the building. You really have to really walk a distance to use the bathroom. I don't know why it was not connected. They put it outside it's separate, like it's another building altogether. So I needed to purge so bad. Like I said, I need to purge. Like I'm having diarrhea. I have a runny stool. So they said, the other nurse said, ah, go over there. And I said, I can't even walk. Can you? It's far. I could see the building, but it's far from me. How am I gonna walk down there just to poop? I said, I need to poop so bad, and this poop is the running kind. I can't even go, and the poop is right there. I said, I can't go there. The nurse was like, you're a nurse. She said, go down there. You need to go there and poop. I said, no. But I remember my sister-in-law bought me a loaf of bread. And normally, they put the loaf of bread in a plastic bag. Because I couldn't even hold the poop because it was like it was coming. I grabbed a plastic bag and put it on the floor. And I am squatting like this to start pooing. Then the lady was like, you can't poop here. I said, you can't poop here. You have to go down there. I said, but I can't even walk over there. Like this poop is right here. By the time I will take 2 steps, I'll be like the whole floor will be messy. So, okay. So this nurse kept insisting that I should go down there to poop. The toilet was, like I told you, a long distance. So I said, I'm not going. So when I now squatted, she said, no, you can't do it. So as I was fussing with her, like I had to poop, she said no. And I kept going like this, down, up, down, up. There was another nurse that came. That one was an angel sent. She said, what's she trying to do? The nurse was like, she's trying to poop on the floor. I told her go to the bathroom to poop. She refused. I told her go to the toilet. She refused. I said, I can't go to the toilet. The poop is right between my legs. I can't even go to the toilet. Then the other nurse said, oh, hold on a minute. No. She should climb on the table. Their baby, it's like a table they built for having babies. It's not like a bed. So she said, oh, let her climb on the table to have the baby. It might be the baby coming. I was like, no, this can't be the baby. She said, oh, is the baby? Climb on the table first. So I was already angry. Like I was so angry, So with that anger in me, I climbed on the table like the second nurse said. But the first nurse was pushing me to go down to poop in the toilet, like the toilet that was like more than a mile away. So I now climbed on the table and they said, okay, yeah, because I had a nightwear already, and then so I didn't have an underwear. Because I said anytime so the baby can. So when I laid down and they said like they did some stuff like maybe simulation or something, then they said, okay, push. So with anger in me, I used all my energy as a woman. When you want to poop, like when you want to really force the whole poop out of your bowl, like I used my mouth. I was like, when they say push, I was like, I need to prove to these people that I was ready to poop. And they were arguing with me that it was a baby. So I said, I need to prove. I just imagined splashing all their faces because it was like 1, 2, 3, 4 around me, asking me to poop. So I was ready to splash all their faces with the poop in me. So I now went like this. I was like, they said, push. I was like, pa. Then they were like, oh, baby, baby. I said, what? They said, baby, 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 one push. I was like, seriously? Then I had the cry of the baby. Ah, wow. I said, so that was the baby coming. And this woman was telling me to go and poop in the bathroom. So if I had pooped, this baby would have fallen in the bathroom and I wouldn't. That was just miracle right there. Okay, wait for the next part. It's long. Okay, so I now had the cry of the baby. Wow, wow. I said, really? And then, but before then, before the baby came out, I heard when they said, is that her first baby? Is that her first baby? Then I heard somebody else say, give her a cut, give her a cut. And that was the episiotomy cut. That was the episiotomy. That was the worst, like my nightmare during this, like after the delivery. Okay, so after I had this baby, then they were washing the baby up and everything. Then the episiotomy part of it. So they cleaned me out and everything. So they said, Miss Carol, we are going to stitch your episiotomy. I said, which episode? They gave me episiotomy because they told me my baby weighed 2.6 kg. So 2.6 kg with this small head and everything. How did they give me an episiotomy? They said because it was my first time, they didn't want me to have tear. I said, God, the baby, when I had the baby jumped out like this. I didn't feel the delivery. Maybe because my baby was small and whatever. So, and then at a point when I was having my baby, I had felt like I was making love. But it was finally that I found out that, with your clitoris, when they say when when the baby's head hits your G spot, like it feels like you're making love, and it adds it helps you with the pain, like it eases your pain. It controls your pain during delivery. So I think that must have happened because I started feeling like I was making love, and then so it was the baby that tickling my clitoris or something. Okay, so the episiotomy part, the worst part of the whole situation, the whole story. So this woman said they would stitch my episiotomy. I said, okay, so are you gonna give me the are you giving me pain medication before the episiotomy, or I need some pain medicine because it was hurting already. So they said, oh, we don't give you pain medicine before we stitch the episiotomy. I said, what? They said, no, we stitch it like that. I said, with no pain medicine? They said, no, even injection or nothing. They said, no, they're not giving me no pain medicine. I said, why? They said, because if we give you pain medicine, it will not heal fast. I said, I don't even want it to heal fast. I don't want any fast healing. Just give me pain medicine because there's no how you're going to stitch me with no pain medicine. So this lady still insisted that they were not going to give me pain medicine. I said, I'm not letting you stitch this without, but they insisted that they had to stitch it, no pain medicine. Wait for the next. Okay, so now I finally gave up because I couldn't, we kept arguing and it was going nowhere. They were bent on stitching my episiotomy with no pain medicine at Mother of Christ Hospital in Enugu. So when they started stitching, trust NEPA in Nigeria. If you know Nigeria, you should know about their NEPA. National Electricity something, just like you have BGE. Their light is not like you can't rely on NEPA. So as they started stitching, I could remember like one stitch, two stitch, I was screaming, I was shouting, I was crying. There was nothing I did. That pain was hitting my brain. I felt like I was going to die. In fact, I told God to take my life because it was too much. It was unbearable. The most excruciating pain you could ever think of. My childbirth, the delivery, the childbirth wasn't as painful as that. I had the baby with no pain medication, no epidural, nothing. there was not even epidural in Nigeria then. I had my baby with no numbing, no pain numbing thing, but it was smooth. I didn't feel, I mean, it wasn't painful. But this episiotomy was the worst thing in my life, like the most excruciating pain I've ever experienced as a human being. So can you imagine stitching your body, stitching you like that? So they started. So by the time the lady went like 1, 2 stitches, I was like screaming, I was shouting that, and then they were like, open your leg, open your leg, open your leg. You can't open your leg when you're doing it. You open your leg very wide. But when we are stitching it, you can't open your leg. But I couldn't because the pain was too much. They said, they will hit me, open your leg, open your leg, open your leg. I mean, I'm telling you, it was so cruel. So they kept hitting me, open your leg, open your, then I'll open my leg, then I'll close it because it was unbearable. So by the time they stitched 1, 2, 3, boom, NEPA took light. Hey, no light. Everywhere went black. Everywhere went black. So the woman was like, it was an older lady. She was like, hey, somebody bring lantern. Oh. If you're from Nigeria, you should know lantern. Lantern is like, it's not the one that uses electric, it uses kerosene. So by the time you pour the kerosene and then you uses gloves. So sometimes when you use it the first day and second day, you don't wash it, the gloves will be so smoky. You can't even see well. It will be so blurry. So when they brought they said, bring lantern. I said, lantern for what? They said to stitch. I said, lantern. Wait for the next part. Okay, so they said, bring lantern. So they brought that lantern. The lantern was so like black, the gloves, they didn't even wash the gloves. So the lady was like, oh, I can't even see with this lantern. She had glasses on. She said, I can't even see with this lantern. I can't see. And me, I was crying. I was in pain. I was in very, very severe pain. They wouldn't listen to me. Just to give me even Tylenol. In Nigeria, they call it paracetamol. They refused. They said, it won't heal. If you take pain medicine, it won't heal. So this lady stitched 1, 2. I said, no, I can't see this lantern. They said, where is your sister-in-law? I said, outside. They said, they called my sister-in-law in. They said, oh, madam, you need to go and buy torchlight. My sister-in-law, and where they buying this torchlight? Very far place. And there's no taxi or anything. You have to walk. My sister-in-law said, okay. And then they left me on the table bleeding with the episiotomy halfway done. Like you could see the rope hanging out because they were still stitching. So my sister-in-law now went to buy the torchlight. I was there. It was like, it took more than 30 minutes. Even though it felt like 10 years, it was like more than 30 minutes before my sister-in-law. I already gave up. Like I just gave up. I said, God, just do with me whatever you want. So finally, what took almost an hour, my sister-in-law finally came back with the torchlight. When she brought the torchlight, the lady was like this. Okay, somebody hold the torchlight. They were using the torchlight to stitch my episiotomy. Can you imagine that? Torchlight to flash on my thing to stitch the episiotomy. So when they were showing the light, they were trying to put the thing on. They said, madam, it's not working. They did like this. Oh, madam, you didn't buy a battery. Hey, my sister, I died though. They said they didn't buy a battery. So what will happen again? After I waited for almost an hour in the blood, in the everything, in the pain, I said, oh God, I need to wake up. I thought it was a nightmare because I kept pinching myself. They said, oh, Carrie, you're awake. I said, it's not nightmare. They said, no, not nightmare. Because I pinched myself like 100 times to make sure I wasn't having bad dreams. That thing wasn't bad dream. That thing was real. They said my sister-in-law needs to go back to buy a battery because she bought the torchlight with no battery. Wait for the next part. Story. Okay, so my sister-in-law now went to buy the battery for the torchlight, and I was still laying there on the table in blood, in tears, in pain. So it took another almost an hour for my sister-in-law to go there and come back, because she had to walk. It's a very long distance. She had to walk to the market to buy the what's it called, battery, Abbey batteries. So finally, when she finally arrived, finally, it seemed like I was on that table for 100 years. They finally put the battery. By then, the NEPA didn't bring light yet. That light would have taken like 3 more days for the. It's not like here, or if something happens to the light, it will switch to generator. No generator, no generator, no, none at all. I was like, so if I was having cessation, I was having cessation, and then the NEPA took light, so they were gonna use lantern and torchlight to stitch. God forbid, though. Hey, my sister and brothers. So now the light, they connected the, what's it called, the battery finally, and somebody had the torchlight for the lady, for the nurse, to stitch my episiotomy. They had it like this, so they were stitching me. I was having muscle spasm. After they stitch, it was like they were just, it was like they were uh cutting me alive. Like, how they butchering somebody. It was too much. I couldn't take that pain. It was too much. I felt like I don't know why I didn't pass out. I don't know why I didn't die. I don't know. It was just God's miracle. Like, it was God's grace, because the pain took over me. Like, I was like, so my childbirth wasn't my problem. My problem was the episiotomy. So the woman, then my muscle started going like this. I started having spasm, and then upon that pain, they were still saying, open your legs, open your legs, open your legs, open your legs. If you're doing it, you open it so wide. When we are stitching you, you're closing it. Tell me, my sisters and brothers, how is it that when they're stitching you, how do they expect you to open it? How are they comparing when they're stitching you to when you're doing it? How can you compare when you're doing it to when you're stitching, when you're being, wait. Okay, so my brothers and sisters, how are they gonna compare when you're doing it with when they're stitching it? This one is so much pain, and this one is so much. You guys know better. So she kept stitching it, but my problem was the hitting, like, open your legs, and it was like, oh, they say, yeah, in 6 months you will come back again. There was nothing they didn't tell me. Some of them were even spraying me holy water, this or manje, and everything. It was a very, very bad experience. I wouldn't wish my worst enemy the kind of experience I had at Mother of Christ. It was so cruel. It was so inhuman. It was, I don't know how else to describe it. It was the worst experience any woman can have. I don't even like. Every time I remember this experience, especially after delivery, my heart bleeds. My heart is bleeding. So at the end of the day, after they stitched the stuff, which took like forever, like it took, I don't even know, I would say it took 100 years to finish stitching. And mind you, the woman was stitching it with torchlight. So after stitching the thing, I couldn't even get up. It felt like they stitched, your labia. It felt like they stitched everything together, like all the holes together. Like, I felt like they stitched my labias together, stitched they connected they stitched everything together. I didn't even know I would have any hole. I mean, I didn't even know I would be able to pee. I thought they stitched everything together, because I was wondering how they were like this. I didn't even know how they saw, like. So I couldn't even, then time to breastfeed the baby, I couldn't even sit down. I couldn't sit to, because the whole thing felt like everything was stitched, like the whole thing stitched, every hole stitched. But thank God, at the end of the day, all the holes were not stitched. And when I got home, after like I think 24 hours or 48 hours, they discharged us. So I started practice. They now said I should be sitting on a hard surface for it to heal. I'm talking about they stitched everything, and I'm trying to sit, and they say hard surface for it to heal. It was terrible, a very, very terrible experience. Very, very, very terrible. So I started doing six baths and everything, as days passed, it started getting better and better and better. But I had the worst experience at Mother of Christ Hospital, Enugu. I wouldn't wish my enemy, my worst enemy, that experience. So I wouldn't wish my worst enemy the experience I had at Mother of Christ Hospital, Enugu. But the good thing is, we don't look like what we passed through, or I don't look like what I passed through. At the end of the day, by the grace of God, I'm still standing strong. And after I had Paris, after I had my first baby, vaginally, then the subsequent ones, because after I had my first baby, I still had three more babies. So I had them here in America. And when I told my husband what I went through at Mother of Christ Hospital, he said, never ever again. I promise you, you are not gonna have another baby in Nigeria. So, and my visa was already in process. So, as he promised, 2005, I arrived in America, and I didn't have to, go through, But I'm not saying the whole hospitals in Nigeria are bad. It just depends on where you go, you know. It all depends. And maybe I should have listened to my other sister-in-law that has said that I should go to a private hospital. But the problem was that my brother-in-law scared me when he told me about baby swapping. So that was what really discouraged me from going to a private hospital, or like all those, high tech. They have good hospitals in Nigeria. I'm not saying all of them are bad. They have good ones, you know, and I'm not saying all of them are swapping babies. I don't know about that because I don't have no evidence. So um the bad experience, I hope that hospital, Mother of Christ, I hope they've improved, because that's inhuman to treat somebody like that. Even I wouldn't even treat my dog that way. I wouldn't even treat my dog that way. My dog that is having a baby, I wouldn't. Hitting me, all kinds of stuff, leaving me bleeding, talking about buying torchlight, bringing lantern. That was, if I'm asked to write about the worst day or the worst experience of my life, that was the day I had my baby. And it wasn't the baby that gave me the problem. It was when they stitched my episiotomy. That nurse, I don't know where you are. This like 19 years ago. Wherever you are, may God forgive you. Ah, this Carol, I'm still standing strong. I love you all.